There was once a beggar who lived near a busy railway station. Every day he would stretch out his hands, asking strangers for a few coins just to survive. But one day, something unexpected happened, an encounter that would change his life forever. A tall man in a suit was walking toward the train. The beggar thought, "This man looks rich. If I ask him, he'll surely give me something." He approached him humbly and said, "Sir, please help me." The man stopped, looked straight into his eyes, and said, "You always ask. But tell me, have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was confused. "Sir, I'm a beggar. What could I possibly give?" The man smiled. "If you can't give, you don't deserve to take. I'm a businessman. I believe in give and take. When you have something to offer, come back to me." And he boarded the train and left. Those words hit the beggar hard. That night, he couldn't sleep. Maybe this is why people ignore me, because I only take and give nothing back. For the first time, he began to think differently. The next morning, while sitting near the tracks, he noticed a few wildflowers growing by the platform. He picked them up, smelled their fragrance, and smiled. "Maybe I can give these." That day, when someone dropped a coin into his bowl, he handed them a flower in return. The passengers smiled. They had never seen a beggar do that. From that day on, he decided, whenever I receive, I'll give something too. Soon, something magical happened. People began giving him more, not because they pitied him, but because they respected the spirit behind his gesture. He was no longer just a beggar, he had become a giver. Days turned into weeks. The same businessman returned to the station and saw the beggar again, but this time with a bunch of flowers in his hand. The beggar ran to him and said, "Sir, this time I have something to give." He handed him a flower, and the businessman smiled. He gave him some money and said, "Now you understand. You're no longer a beggar. You're a businessman." Those words awakened something deep inside. That very night, the beggar looked up at the stars and shouted, "I'm not a beggar anymore. I'm a businessman." 6 months later, at the same station, two men in suits met. One of them said, "Do you remember me?" The other looked puzzled. "I don't think so." He smiled and said, "You once refused to give me money. Then you bought flowers from me. I was that beggar." The businessman was shocked. "You how?" He smiled and said, "You taught me the greatest law of life. Give before you take. I began with flowers, and today I own a successful flower business." Both men laughed, shook hands, and walked away. One had shared wisdom, and the other had turned it into wealth. So, my friend, remember this: life changes when your thinking changes. If you believe you have nothing to give, you'll always stay where you are. But if you believe you can give even a smile, a kind word, or your effort, life will return it multiplied. You don't need to wait for success. You just need to think like a giver. Because the moment you change your thoughts, your destiny starts to change. Change your thinking, and life will change itself. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such motivational stories that awaken your inner power and change your perspective forever.